Hey sportsman, John Bergsma here. Early January, January 8, we're up here at Pilgrims Village in Cadillac, one of our favorite stops. Steve, Chris, and the gang are ready for an awesome ice fishing season. We've got a great report coming to you from Cadillac, from Curtis, Michigan in the Upper Peninsula, from Escanaba, and then we end up with a nice river report from our friend Captain Gene Curvin at Calypso Sport Fishing Charters on the Au Sable River. Stay tuned. This will be a fun 4 reports. The fishing out of Cadillac, Michigan right now is going good on Lake Mitchell. Now we're going to give you just a little caution on Lake Cadillac. Some of the shoreline ice on Lake Cadillac is a little bit iffy with this warmer weather, so take some time and be cautious when you're on Lake Cadillac. Mitchell's got about 4 to 7 inches of ice. Now let's talk about the bite that's going on Mitchell for you guys coming up this weekend. We've got the east side of the lake, right behind basically Pilgrims Village, is kicking out decent numbers of perch and walleye along the shallow breaks, maybe 7 to 15 feet. Now they're catching them slow jigging, jigs and wax worms or a minnow head for the perch. And if you're gonna dead stick a rod, a jig with a whole minnow, live hooked so it continues to swim, will get you either larger perch or walleye and the random crappie. Now, if you're talking about pike fishing anywhere on the lake, the tip-up fishing has been very good. Pike have been coming in regularly to Pilgrims Village, and some very nice sized ones as well. So don't forget your tip-ups. It's going to add a lot of fish to your catch throughout the day. Now, if you're looking for panfish, you're going to want to visit the coves. In the coves of any big and small coves, right on that outer rim, that 3, 4, 5, 6 foot area where you still have some weeds, whether they're laid down or standing, that's where most of the panfish have been coming from. Again, small teardrops, waxies, mousies, just a minnow head or a super small minnow would be a great ticket for catching big panfish and some random perch as well. But right now, this coming weekend should be an awesome weekend with this midweek cold weather we're having to firm up Cadillac and just enhance the ice that we've got on Mitchell. So put Cadillac, Michigan, Pilgrims Village on your things to do this weekend. Now, when you're in the Cadillac region, you've got a few options for getting great information or staying. Pilgrims Village always is our best stop when it comes to great fishing information, all the tackle and all the stuff you need for a great adventure. We're in hard water right now. They're open year-round. They also have cabins right here on the shores of Lake Mitchell. So it's a very good destination to leave out of, especially if you're four-wheelering or snowmobiling to your fishing destination. Now, if you're looking for just a quick overnight stay and you don't want to stay for a few days, there's a couple options there too. The Days Inn is just up the street from not only Pilgrims Village, but the boat launch. Now, the Days Inn has been a partner with Fisherman's Digest since day one. This is a fisherman-friendly hotel. They understand a lot of people come in with boats or nowadays with trailers and four-wheelers and snowmobile. They get that. They've got all the amenities, good affordably priced rooms, all the stuff right in close proximity to food and Pilgrims Village, as well as the access through the DNR boat launch right there on Lake Mitchell. And the last stop, it's under renovation right now, but the hotel at Lake Cadillac Resort is open for business. Now, the Lake Cadillac was formerly the Sands, and let me tell you, the guys who bought this are putting big money into it. This is going to be a destination spot for winter and summer going forward. But in summertime, boy, they've got a view like nobody else from right there on the shores of Lake Cadillac, looking out the whole expanse of the lake. So get on your computer, check out what the construction's going on Lake Cadillac. But again, the hotel part of Lake Cadillac Resort is open, all right? So check out these great options for staying and come to Cadillac and have a great time. Are you in the market for a new trailer? For all your trailer needs, big or small, visit Beck's Trailer Superstore on Highway 127 north of St. John's. So our next report, guys, is a really good report coming to us from Curtis. Now, This might be the best fish catching place in the next week or two to go anywhere in the Upper Peninsula. This has had some really good fishing going on, not only on South Lake, but also on Big Lake. Now, there's still a few areas in the Upper Peninsula, I mean, not in the Upper Peninsula, but in Curtis, that have got some slush and water issues. But we're thinking with this super cold midweek weather they're having up there, a lot of that's going to tighten up. There's no question of ice thickness. Everywhere on both lakes, we're finding 6 to 12 inches of ice. And we're finding a very solid mixed bag fishing. We chatted with Mixed Bait Shop. We chatted with Rodney over at Fish and Hunt. He's reporting, and so is Mix, that a lot of mixed bag fish coming in, a lot of good pan fishing, a lot of good perch, a lot of good walleye, and the tip-up fishing for pike has been very good along the breaks with big sucker minnows. Now, if you're setting tip-ups for walleyes, they're telling me that bigger size blues, medium to big size blues have been working the best. And most of the fish that are coming, though, have been coming on the jigging rod with either a minnow head or a small full-size minnow. Now, if you're setting a dead rod, that'd be an awesome setup for a dead rod too, a small to medium live hooked minnow. Now, for the pan fishing, it's been the classic presentations, teardrops and waxworms, spikes, and minnow heads or very small minnows. The smaller ones in your basket you can use, and you can lip hook those and or back behind the dorsal to try and entice some of the weirier big bluegills and perch that are roaming around. But right now is go time in Curtis, Michigan. That's been awesome fishing. They've had lots of reports of guys just mixed bag fishing. Don't go up there thinking you're going to just fish for walleye or just fish for panfish or just fish for this. Set up a spread of tip-ups that gives you a chance at both pike and walleye, and make sure your jigging rod stays active. And if you're fishing a dead rod, make sure you're moving it once in a while. But that's basically the line right now coming from Curtis. Now, if you're looking for a great place to stay in Curtis, Michigan, you've got two options. On South Lake, you've got Sunset Pines Resort. That's an awesome place to stay. They really cater to fishermen. If you're on Big Lake, you've got two options. You've got the Pine Bluff Resort, and right next to Pine Bluff, Mike Soder's Sunset Shores Resort is open. Now, those guys accommodate both snowmobilers and fishermen, so both of them are going to be awesome places to stay. You've got the restaurant right there at Pine Bluff that's able to also serve you some food. Now, if you're looking for great information, you can stop in at Fish and Hunt shop, or you can stop in up at the top of the hill at Mixed Bait Shop. Either one is going to be able to talk to you, you know, and you can have confidence in what they're telling you. These lakes they're not hard to figure out. I mean, you're break fishing, you're cove fishing on the Big Lake, you're structure fishing, the edge of Anderson Bar, the top of Helmer Bar, you know, wherever you find transitional weeds outside of Burnt Island is a great area. There's a large flat there between Chamberlain's Restaurant and Burnt Island. That's a lot of 7 and 8 foot of water, a lot of scattered weeds. So really it's just getting out there, looking for other shacks, getting close, not too close, you know, and then just starting to find your own fish. But right now, Curtis, Michigan, going strong. Hey sportsmen, a little quick ditty about WavePro seat bases. You know, WavePro seat bases are the top seat base in the industry. Their gas shock technology protects my back. It's the same technology that they use in snowmobile shock absorbers on the front. And when I run through heavy chop or big waves, the gas shock technology of the WavePro seat base really protects me. The second thing I like is the extremely small profile of the WavePro seat base. It occupies no bigger footprint than my regular factory installed seat base. That's the other thing I really love about it. WavePro seat bases, because you only have one back. We're jumping up over the bridge to the Escanaba area, and Ryan Herenstein tells us that the fishing that was unusually good early up on Escanaba, that early ice is continuing. There seems to be a very good flood of fish coming into the Little Bay de Noc area of Escanaba, and for whatever reason, a lot of times those fish seem to vanish once you get into January and become hard to catch. Not so this year. The fishing has remained good. Now they got a solid 10 inches of ice on Little Bay de Noc right now. You always want to use caution when you're on a Great Lakes body of water, but The fishing right now is reported as being very good for a walleye, northern pike, and some random mixed bag perch fishing as well. Now, what are they doing? They're fishing structures. You're fishing center reef, you're fishing third reef, you're fishing point tips, you're fishing tops of and breaks to the bottom of points, and also the same thing either on top of or off the breaks of these major structures. You're going to want to look around. You're not going to want to just sit in one place. I mean, if you fish somewhere and you're marking fish, stay and catch them. If you're not marking fish, slide over, look at other people's shacks, go to school on them. Where you see shacks, there's usually activity, especially permanent local shacks. That's usually a good indication of fish. Now, what are they catching them on? They're jigging moonshines, 7s and 9 jigging wraps, tipping them with a minnow head on the underside treble. That's probably the #1 way to do it. Colors, you know, you're going to go Wonder Bread, you're going to go Fire Tigers, you're going to go Gold. Those are 3 colors that right away jump out at anybody who ice fishes a lot. So if you're looking how and where to set your tip-ups, set your tip-ups on the top of the roll. Big minnows for pike, big blues if you're targeting walleye. So big suckers for pike, big blues for the walleye. And you're setting them about 18 inches off the bottom. Again, we always tell people I'd fish the shallow edge or the top of the roll when I'm pike fishing. Also with walleye fishing, the tips of points and things like that. Real transition areas where the fish are moving quite consistently. A real sharp inside bend turn right on that V of that inside bend can be a great spot to fish and set a tip up as well. But either way, Escanaba right now. Now, if you're looking for a great guide to get you out on the ice, Ryan Herenstein from RTH Fishing, who brings you many of these reports, has got permanent shacks on the ice ready to take care of you. If you're looking for an overnight stay, the Bayview Motel. They're probably the most fisherman-friendly motel anywhere in that Gladstone region. If you're looking to be right on the water, maybe you're going to stay 2, 3, 4 days, our friends at Lindbergh's Cove Marina, right there on the bay, right by the Gladstone boat launch. He's been there for decades serving fishermen. It's his primary customer base. He's very accommodating. He's got beautiful little cabins, right direct access to the water, and it's an awesome place to stay. You looking for an outdoor shed or carport or small building for storage? Visit my friends up at Midwest Steel Carports. They'll travel anywhere in the Lower Peninsula to install your shed or carport for you. Visit them online at MidwestSteelCarports.com. For our last stop of the day, we're going to talk a little bit of flowing water because we can't forget steelhead fishing during the winter months. This is something that a lot of people really don't think about, and this is the best time of the year. Those calm, no wind days where you see, you know, bald eagles and wildlife on the shorelines, and you get to float or drift or wade an awesome river. Today we're talking about the Au Sable River, and we're talking about Captain Gene Curvin from Calypso Sport Fishing Charters. Now, Captain Gene, all softwater period, he's trolling out on Lake Huron and bringing his customers awesome mixed bags. But during the fall, winter, and spring months, Captain Gene is probably the best guide on the Au Sable River to bring you awesome catches of steelhead and Atlantics. And that's what Gene tells us is biting heavily right now. He's hardbait fishing, so he's using wee warts or wiggle warts in gold or Wonder Bread. We're fishing deeper runs right now and having great success with really good size Atlantics and steelhead. So again, that's Captain Gene from Calypso Sport Fishing Charters. Jump on our website, click on the Tawas area to get Gene's full report and also to get his contact information. Now, if you're looking for great ice fishing reports from that local region, one of the local bait stores not far from the Tawas region is M65 Sports. M65 Sports, just like Pilgrims Village where we're at today, is a local shop, full service, carries all the stuff you need to know for that greater Tawas-Oscoda region for inland lake pan fishing and all the small lake fishing, as well as they got a great selection, just like Steve and Chris do here at Pilgrims Village, of crankbaits and other things that you can take with you to your next stop. So check out M65 Sports, check out my friend Gene Curvin, and check out the fishing there on the Au Sable River. Thanks for joining us for today's report. Listen, just briefly, I want to tell you, Fisherman's Digest, our TV show, is on from now through June, Fox Sports Detroit, Sunday morning, 7 a.m. That's a really awesome. This week's show, Camp Quetico Smallmouth Bass Fishing. This is a destination we look forward to going to every year. 4 and 5 pound smallies are normal fare at Camp Quetico. The cool thing for you guys, it's a great drive-in destination just over the Minnesota border, right north of International Falls, Minnesota. So join us and watch this week's show, 7 a.m. Sunday morning, Fox Sports Detroit. The same place you watch the Lions, the Tigers, the Pistons, and the Red Wings, you can watch Fisherman's Digest. And we'll see you next week on the Hot Bites Fishing Report.